Hi everyone, I'm back. I am so sorry that I haven't been able to film a second video for you guys on an update on what's going on with my life as a student sonographer. What held me up from making a second video was this semester. This past semester was the most stressful thing I've ever gone through. For this semester, I took abdominal pathology, OBGYN pathology, and acoustic physics 2 or ultrasound physics 2. I took the first part last semester. What's different about this spring semester compared to last fall semester was last semester we focused more on the normal general anatomy of what your organs should look like, such as the size, texture, location, rather than this semester we focused a lot more on pathology itself. Pathology is basically the diseases or anything that's wrong with you. We mostly focused on what your anatomy shouldn't look like through ultrasound, such as seeing gallstones in your gallbladder or pancreatitis or cirrhosis of your liver, and what symptoms comes along with those. It's just a lot more different compared to last semester because when you're working with just what's normal, that's normal, that is what it is. With pathology and diseases, you basically have to guess. It's like a big guessing game. You know, everything looks the same. Every disease, they vary from texture. You could have your organs be heterogeneous or filled with cysts, and it's just a lot more critical thinking rather than seeing a normal person with normal anatomy. I never really understood why we need to know all these diseases because we're not the one diagnosing the patient, the doctor is. But then again, as sonographers, you need to be able to identify these pathologies and what's abnormal and what's normal because you're basically the doctor's eyes. So if you can't identify something that's abnormal in your study, then the doctor is going to misdiagnose the patient. So even though our job's a little less stressful as a doctor, we still have the expectations to have the knowledge as a doctor to do our work efficiently. This semester we were also introduced to OB or Obstetrics, and this topic is basically dealing with pregnant women, the baby, etc. With this type of studying, it's just a whole different ballpark than just dealing with abdominal organs and pelvic organs. With OB, you aren't just dealing with one patient. You're dealing with two. You're dealing with the mama and the baby. At the beginning of the semester, I really hated OB. You have to take so many pictures and you have to deal with the mom and the baby, make sure they're all okay, and the baby is a moving target. You're just trying to scan and the baby wants to move this way and move that way. You have to take all these pictures, you got to take pictures of parts of the baby's brain, you have to measure the baby's head, you have to measure the baby's abdomen. There's just a lot of imaging when dealing with OB exams, but at the end of the semester, I absolutely love OB. It's so adorable. It's so cute. I mean, sometimes there's ups, sometimes there's downs, but honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm more excited than the moms are. Actually, most of the time, I'm more excited to see the baby than the moms are. You might be sitting there thinking, oh, Christy, that doesn't sound so bad. All you have to do is study and blah, blah, blah. But on top of learning all of these crazy diseases, I'm also trying to study for my SBI board exam, which I will be taking next week, so wish me good luck. If you don't know what that is, that's basically just a board exam that is required for you to take. It's a board exam that includes ultrasound physics and basically how to utilize your machine and how to practice good ultrasound safety. In my next video, I'll go over what the SBI board exam is and what I'm doing to prepare for it right now. And so if you are interested in hearing about that, be sure to like and subscribe because that'll probably be my next video coming up. Overall, this semester had me very stressed and anxious all the time because This is the semester where students generally fail or drop the course. In the beginning of my program, I started off with about 20 general sonography students, and at the end of this past semester, we are only down to 6 original sonography students from the beginning of the year. And we also gained about like 4 people from the past semesters, so we lost about 14 students within the past few months. I mean, I don't blame them. Some people, they just don't like it, or they couldn't handle the stress, or it just didn't click with them. This may not be the same for every diagnostic medical sonography program, but at least for my program, the passing score you need to get for your grades is a 78% or higher. If you're at a 77, like, nah, you're out of here. And if you fail one course, you basically fail the whole semester. You'll just have to repeat and try again next time. I remember at the end of the semester, I was literally on the verge to failing at that 79-80% range. You know, I was terrified that if I had like one slip up on that final exam, like my life would be over. I would drop out the program and I don't even know what I'd be doing. So you can imagine how much studying I had to do to pass this semester. I mean, we had quizzes and assignments included in our grade, but our final exam was 60% of our final grade. That basically determined if I stayed in the program or not. I then buckled down the last few weeks of school. I just remember every single night my brain would just be fried from so much information. Finals week came up, and note that I had 3 final exams this week. And Monday was my ultrasound physics, Wednesday was my OBGYN final, and then Friday was my abdominal final. Basically, Monday came around, and my first final, it was okay. It was actually my teacher did it as like a mock SBI board exam, so she basically made it as similar as she can to the real thing, and I found that very helpful because I honestly feel very prepared to take my board exam next week. Next was the OB exam. So I passed that exam with flying colors, and I was screaming with joy. But then the fun didn't stop there, because 2 days after that I had my abdomen exam. Studying for my abdomen final was probably the most struggle because, I don't know, for some reason abdominal pathology just doesn't click with me. I feel like every pathology in your liver compared to your spleen and your kidneys, they just all look the same to me. Our Friday finally comes, and I passed my final exam, and I was so happy. I was literally going to piss my pants if I did not pass that last final exam. You know, I definitely knew that God was by my side during those exams because I was struggling real hard. You know, sonography is not a joke. It's really hard. It's a lot of studying, but not just studying. There's a lot of practice involved with sonography, because if you could read as many books as you want, but if you cannot hold that transducer and scan a patient, then you're not a sonographer. You need to be able to utilize those book smarts with your hand-eye coordination, with all the information that you have. You need to be able to scan as a sonographer. The last thing I wanted to mention in my video was about my clinical rotations. So as you all know, in my last video, I did my clinicals at an outpatient center called Community Radiology Associates, and I absolutely loved it there. I was fortunate enough to join them again this past semester, and it was just a blast. Like, they gave me so many opportunities to scan. I truly felt like I was a real sonographer that worked at that outpatient center. They just gave me patients from start to finish, and they just trusted my work. And of course they came in and like observed and like double checked everything afterwards, but it was just nice to know that my skills paid off and that they trusted me to scan a real patient. But remember that not all clinicals let you do that. Like, I was lucky. My clinical let me do all these exams. Like, I was able to do complete abdomens by myself, renal exams, thyroid exams, scrotum exams, transvaginal, transabdominal. Like, I was able to do everything at my site. But like I said, not every site is going to let you do that. So unfortunately for this summer semester, I will be leaving community radiology associates, and I believe I get 2 sites this semester. We get 1 radiology site and 1 OBGYN site. This time around I will be at a hospital for my radiology site. Second, my OBGYN site is at an outpatient perinatal site, so I'm super excited to see how this all plays out. I've never been to a hospital. I'm so used to like an outpatient center. You know, there's a lot more procedures that goes on in a hospital, like thoracentesis or like amniocentesis, or even in any type of surgical setting, you know, sonography is used. So I'm pretty excited to see what a hospital is like. Sometimes I hear it's boring because you're sitting there waiting. Like an outpatient center, I'm always used to like, yeah, I'm going to scan this next patient. But, you know, it's good to experience all different types of settings in ultrasound because, you know, you'll never know which one you end up liking. So yeah, so that's it on my update as a first-year sonography student, and I am now proud to say that I am a second-year sonography student.